Hello everyone. Welcome again in the third session of our quiz. In our previous videos, we have discussed some MCQs and very short answer type questions. And in this video, I'm going to discuss some short answer type questions with you. So children, be ready to solve some very interesting questions. Are you all ready? Okay, so let us start. Let's come to our first question. Our first question is, what is meant by saying that the force is due to an interaction? Give an example to illustrate your answer. If you want to write the answer in your notebook, you can note it down. I'm going to explain the answer of this question. What is meant by the saying that the force is due to an interaction, and we have to give examples also. An interaction of one object with another object results in a force between the two objects. In other words, a force arises due to the interaction between the two objects. At least two objects must interact with each other for a force to come into play and show its effects. If there is no interaction between objects, no force can show its effect. As for example, suppose a man is standing behind a stationary car. He is not in contact with the car. He is just standing behind a stationary car. Since there is no interaction between the man and the car, no force acts on the car, and hence the car does not move. Now, suppose the man started to push the car with his hands, due to which the car starts moving. When the man pushes the car, there is an interaction between the man and the car. And during this interaction, a force arises which acts on the car and makes it move in the direction of applied force. So what we have observed in this example? That the man has to push the car to make it to move. Here, the two objects or the two things which are interacting for the force to come into play and show its effect are the man and the car. A stationary car and man only is capable of applying force to the stationary car. So I hope you have understood this question very well. So let's move to the next question. Question number 2 is, what will be the resultant force acting on the object if the two forces applied to an object act in the same direction? The two forces applied on the objects are in the same direction. Then what will be the resultant force? Let us understand the answer. If the two forces applied to an object act in the same direction, then the resultant force acting on the object is equal to the sum of the two forces. In other words, we can also say that when two forces act in the same direction, their effective magnitude increases. What do you mean by the effective magnitude increases? Let us understand this with the help of an example. Suppose there is a heavy box which a man can move only by pushing it very hard. The box is very heavy, and if the two men push this heavy box in the same direction, what will happen? Obviously, it will become very much easier to move the heavy box. And why this is? This is because when the two men apply their forces to push the box in the same direction, the two forces add up and provide a much bigger force. And this bigger force can move the heavy box very easily. So, when the two forces applied to an object act in same direction, the resultant force acting on the object will be equal to the sum of the two forces. Suppose one force is A and the second one is B. So the resultant force will be A plus B. The force applied by one man is 2 Newton and the force applied by second man is 3 Newton. Then the resultant force will be 2 Newton plus 3 Newton. That means the net force acting on the body will be 5 Newton. So this question is also clear to everyone. Let us move to the next one. Question number 3. Explain with the help of examples that a force can change the shape and size of an object. We all know that this is one of the effects of the force, that the force can change the shape and size of an object. So let us explain this. If we take a light spring and pull it at both the ends with our hand, then the shape and size of the spring changes. And in this case, the force of our hands changes the shape and size of the spring. The force which is applied by our hand changes the shape and size of the spring. That means the spring will turn in, they will go far apart and the length of the spring will increase. Let us see some more example. The shape of dough. You know what is dough? It is the kneaded wet flour which we use to make chapati, roti at our home. So the shape, when your mother cooks roti, what happens? The shape of the dough changes when she press it with a rolling pin. When we press the dough with a rolling pin, what we are doing? We are applying force here. So we can change the shape of dough changes on applying force. Similarly, the shape of kneaded wet clay also changes when a potter converts it into pots of different shapes and sizes. Why this happens? This also happens because the potter applies force on the kneaded wet clay. The shape of a toothpaste tube, that also changes when we squeeze it because we apply force while squeezing it. Similarly, when we hammer a piece of aluminium metal, its shape changes and the aluminium sheet is formed. This change in shape occurs because we are applying force with hammer. So now we can say that the force can change the shape and size of a object. The shape and size of a balloon also changes when we fill it with air. Why? Because of the weight of the air. The weight of air or the weight of water which we fill in the balloon, that exerts force on the walls of the balloon from inside. So from these examples, we can conclude that a force can change the shape and size of an object. Very good. I hope this is clear to everyone. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4 is, explain why electrostatic force is said to be a non-contact force. We all know that electrostatic force is an example of non-contact force. We have to tell why is it so? Why electrostatic force comes under the category of non-contact force? So let us see the answer. The electrostatic force can be exerted by a charged object on another object even from a distance, or even when they are not in touch with each other, when they are not in contact with each other. So, electrostatic force is an example of non-contact force. The example is, an electrically charged plastic cone exerts electrostatic force of attraction on tiny pieces of paper even from a distance, even without touching them. They attracts it. They attracts the tiny pieces of paper. So there is no contact between, there is no physical touching between the tiny pieces of paper and the charged plastic cone. Then also we can see that the tiny pieces of paper moves towards the electrically charged comb. That is why electrostatic force comes under the category of non-contact force. I hope you enjoyed this quiz session. And again we will meet in the next session with some more interesting questions. Till then, keep learning, keep thinking. Thank you.